Everybody, my name is John Richardson. This is going to be Leadership After Critical Incidents for HSEM F467 through the University of Alaska Fairbanks. So what is a critical incident? The Manitoba Employee Assistance Program defines a critical incident as assaults on employees, hostage takings, the suicide or murder of a coworker, accidents causing bodily harm or death, as well as an airplane crash or natural disasters including floods, fires, and tornadoes. A situation can be considered a critical incident when people feel a lack of control, have a shock reaction to the event, and are left feeling very vulnerable. So for the purposes of this PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to refer to people in here as officers, but critical incidents can happen to anybody, not just first responders, doctors, nurses, dispatchers, um, you know, anywhere. You could be in a bank and have a critical incident. You could be at the grocery store and have a critical incident. So it can really happen to anybody at any time, not just first responders. So how can it impact first responders? Critical incidents can impact first responders' mental health regardless if they have been in the career for 20 days or 20 years. Critical incident calls can be life-changing, and involved officers may have reoccurring images or flashbacks to the event over several weeks or more. So these issues are going to be lasting forever for some people. You might be in an officer-involved shooting, and then anytime you're on a traffic stop after that, you might go back to that incident in your head, or have nightmares, flashbacks, things like that. So after the event, department should have policies and procedures in place for critical incidents involving the discharge of firearms resulting in loss of life or injury. However, critical incidents can occur without firearms being involved, so it doesn't have to just be a shooting. You could have a mass casualty event. You could have a car accident with people involved or children involved. You could be assaulted on the job. You could see, death, things like that can be critical incidents for certain people. And leaders should encourage involved officers to stay with people and not be alone after the incident. So after the event, on-call chaplains should be provided to the individuals in the department. Officers who are not on call may be impacted by listening to the radio transmissions of the event or worried about their colleagues. So some people can get trauma from critical incidents even if they weren't on the scene. Hearing that radio key up when an officer is involved in a fight, or just not having that officer in roll call anymore at the department. Critical incident stress management. So departments should have individuals trained in critical incident stress management, or CISM. These officers will go to other departments and speak with officers involved in the critical incident and provide support. And CISM programs are designed to take place before, during, and after the event. So for an example, if I were on a critical incident stress management team, a CISM team, I would be trained in CISM, but if a critical incident happened in my department, I would not be involved in that in terms of CISM, but if something happened in another department, that's when I would go. So if something happened in my department, CISM team from another agency or agencies would come to my department and talk to me and those involved. Support outside of work. So the employee assistance programs, EAP, and peer support programs can assist individuals involved outside of the workplace. Involved officers may not be injured physically, but they may be mentally. Officers may need to take days or weeks off of work before returning, and take advantage of the employment assistance programs, and peer support. Talk to counselors, family members, or just need time away from work to try to help that trauma kind of subside. Support when returning to work. Leaders will need to have conversations with their shift on how to best support the officer when they return to work. This conversation may involve shift meeting with the department, chaplain, or CISM members. So this is important that some officers may feel a little strange coming back to work, or that they don't really know how their peers are going to react when they come back to work or treat them differently. They don't want to be treated as if they're broken. But at the same time, departments need to acknowledge that this person might still be suffering from trauma, and you don't want to coddle them, but they probably will need some help integrating back into the organization. So in summary, critical incidents can happen at any time to anybody, not necessarily just first responders. These events can have lasting effects. For many people, even if they think that the trauma has gone away or subsided, it's possible that something could trigger that trauma later on. Departments should have policies in place for when critical incidents occur. This includes having callouts for chaplains, CISM teams, things like that. And leaders must be willing to coordinate those resources for the involved officers and the department when necessary. It's a lot of work. It is going to be a lasting commitment to that individual in the organization, but it's something that leaders need to step up and be able to take care of their people when critical incidents do occur.